Nothing hurts guys more to know that the woman they dump is actually doing better than them. Bro, bro, the pain feels so different. My chest. When some guys dump their girl, they always think that, yeah, you will never find somebody like me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bro, who are you? If you were a girl, will you date yourself? No, like, tell yourself the truth. If you are a girl, will you date yourself? You understand? Stop feeling like God. You are not a God. If you dump her, she will still find somebody better than you. There is no two ways about it. Stop thinking that you are a God. You are not a God. Because even you, if you are a girl, you cannot still date yourself. Do you know if you're actually the reason why she's not moving forward in life? Bro, leave her. Let her go. Release that lady. Let her go. Stop holding her hostage. She will do better if you leave her. You might even be the one holding her destiny down. And you think without you, she cannot do well. Who are you? Who are you? Who is your father?
Statistically speaking, on average, men tend to regret breakups a lot more than women do. Researchers tracked 5,705 participants across 96 different countries and found that while women may feel more hurt and pain initially from the breakup, they tend to move on and get over it faster and more fully, whereas some men may never get over the breakup, and that's where the phrase, "a man never forgets his first love," comes from. Despite the idea and stereotype that women are more emotionally involved in romance, a 2021 international study found that men tend to experience more pain than a woman does after a split. And this makes a lot of sense when you take into consideration another study that was done in 2024 from the behavioral and brain sciences that indicate that romantic partnerships mean a lot more to men because men tend to benefit more from romantic relationships with a woman. Interestingly enough, from that same study, there was one survey conducted from 1,400 men who dumped their partners, and out of the 1,400 men who dumped their partners, 76.5 of them said that within 60 days they regretted breaking up with their partner, with their woman. And with all the information and data that's out there, it tells me that one of the reasons as to why men tend to regret the breakup more than the woman does is because men have a tendency to be a lot more impulsive than women do. I'm sure you've heard this stereotype that women cannot be trusted to make rational decisions because they're hypersensitive and overly emotional. Well, the data actually shows the contrary. Women tend to be a lot more logical thinkers than men think they are. A clear example of that would be the stock market. Women tend to outperform men in investing because they stay on course despite the rise and fall of the stock market. They don't panic and pull their money out of stocks as soon as it starts falling. Men oftentimes do, though. There's hella other studies that have also been done that clearly indicate that men and women have nearly the same amount of emotions. The only difference is that we tend to bottle them in, which leads us to making impulsive decisions because we have so much emotion built in. A breakup is one of those examples. And why do you think men come back to a woman's life? Because they made a decision that they're now regretting. Women, on the other hand, will carefully consider the pros and cons of what they're about to do, and they make a decision based on something that they've carefully considered. So even though women tend to take a little longer to get over the relationship, when they do it, they get over it fully and well, while men sometimes may never get over it.
I'm here for my 2 cents on how typically men's psychology works after a breakup. Contrary to the opinion that, like Reverend T.D. Jakes said, Bishop T.D. Jakes said, emotions, right? Society has conditioned men to almost seem like men don't experience feelings or emotions. Conditioning, misogyny, patriarchy, the red medicine society conditions men that show any type of emotions is weakness. So a lot of men will bury it, especially the first few days of a breakup. A lot of men, after a separation, a breakup, divorce, will immediately go on to get another woman to replace whoever they were leaving. And typically it might seem like it's a jolly ride. They're enjoying it. They're having the best time of their lives. Blasey blas. But as Bishop T.D. Jakes says it, men experience emotions, so emotions. Now, a quick dive into a little bit of research reveals this, and I'm going to read a little bit to you, because what you see a lot of time maybe being posted on social media, him going on and on, changing his pictures, doing the most, a lot of times it's a mask over how
There are 3 psychological stages that a lot of men generally go through after a breakup or a divorce with a woman. Those 3 psychological stages are relief, discomfort, and sadness. When you initially split up with a man, he is going through the stage of relief. That's when it seems like he's moving on quickly. You might see him with another woman. You might see him out and about, hanging out with his friends, living a life of excitement. He might be partying it up, casually hooking up with women, whatever the case may be. It seems like he's moving on, but in all reality, what's really happening is he's using all these things as coping mechanisms to get over the fact that he's no longer with you anymore. In the stage of relief, that's usually when the woman is bawling her eyes out, feeling the most amount of pain and crying the most. She might be journaling, finding ways to get over the breakup and whatnot, while the man is out and about, seemingly enjoying his life. After the stage of relief comes the stage of discomfort. That is when a man's life starts going back to normal. It starts going back to his daily routine. The monotony creeps back into his life. Things start going back to normal, and those feelings of excitement that he was experiencing in the initial stages of the stage of relief are now starting to fade away. So now he might start thinking about you a little more. He's starting to realize that all those outlets he was trying to use to fill in the void that you're no longer filling in are not as valuable as he thought they were. And this is exactly when the stage of sadness begins to creep in, the 3rd stage. By the 3rd stage, this is when the woman has more than likely moved on from the man, and the man is barely starting to catch up, because now all of his loneliness and his solitude is beginning to engulf his entire life. And now he's finding ways of, one, trying to get you back. And this is exactly why a lot of men reach out months and years after the breakup or after the divorce, because the stage of sadness has crept in onto their lives. And in some cases, during the stage of sadness, a man might even resort to drinking in order to get rid of that nostalgia that he's feeling for you, because he now finally realized that he left and lost out on a good woman. And by this time, the woman's already fully over the breakup, because she did what she had to do in the initial stages of the breakup to get over it and to heal from it, while the man is barely starting to catch up. When women are crying, bawling their eyes out, lamenting the breakup, lamenting the divorce, missing the man, that's when the man is out and about, seemingly enjoying his life and living it up. But when women finally move on, that's when a lot of men have a tendency to now feel lost and confused, and that's why they try creeping back into your life. Not every man goes through all these stages, but a lot of men go through these 3 psychological stages in this specific order: relief, discomfort, and sadness.
Not every breakup hits a man the same way, but let me tell you, when a man realizes that he lost a real one, the regret is real. These things are what really makes a man regret losing his woman. Number 1, the genuine love and the support. When he looks back and realizes that you were his biggest supporter, you were the one who believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself, that is a tough loss to swallow. Number 2, the emotional safety and understanding that she gave him. Now, men don't always open up, but when men finally find somebody to help them open up and be vulnerable, that's rare. So losing that kind of connection definitely stings. Number 3, it's the peace over the drama. Ladies, if you've brought peace into his life instead of chaos, trust me when I tell you, when you leave, it's a big difference. And he definitely notices the difference once you gone. Number 4, having a woman who helped him grow. If you challenged that man to be better, pushed him toward his goals, you helped him mature, the impact does not fade, especially when he realizes all women are not doing that. Number 5, the sickest part of it all, when she moves on and glows up. Nothing, and I mean nothing, makes a man reflect harder than seeing his ex-woman move on and up, genuinely being happy without him. The truth is, men do not always process regret immediately, but when they do, it's usually because they lost a woman who added value to their lives. Share this if you know your worth. Make sure y'all follow me for more tips. And if you need a one-on-one coaching session with me, the link is in my bio. King Crane. Peace.
These are the 3 stages a man goes through post-breakup who is an avoidant. And it's coming from someone who's an avoidant. What's up? I'm Eli. I'm a personal development coach. I work with women to help them navigate love, dating, relationships, and to make life and healing easier. So you guys are going through a breakup, and he's an avoidant. You've seen it time and time again. He shuts down, he runs away, or even worse, this breakup, it looks like he doesn't even care that he's even going through a breakup. It looks like he's happy. It looks like he's jumping with freaking joy, and you're over here crying. Let me break down the 3 steps. Number one, the first step post-breakup is he's going to feel free. This man's going to feel free and excited and, oh my God, I'm alone now and I have this sense of independence and it's fantastic because he's been holding up all this tension because he doesn't know how to regulate his nervous system with you. As an avoidant, you normalize and relax and calm that nervous system by yourself. And if he doesn't have the right strategies or the right time and space to do so, he's going to feel this pent-up aggression, this pent-up resentment, this pent-up all that towards you. So the second you guys break up, he's freaking loving it. Step number two is when the nervous system starts to settle. And that's when he starts to miss you. That's when he starts thinking about you. That's when he's like, oh my God, what happened? That's when he's like, what is she up to? That's when he starts looking at the social. That's when he starts picking and prodding, and maybe you see him in his stories or what have you, because the nervous system's calming down. The feelings are starting to catch up. The vulnerabilities are starting to sink in of what his life is and where it's going. And now he has to deal with the reality of his decisions, the reality of what his next stage of his life is, the reality of missing you. And because he may lack the capability of regulating those emotions, that is when he may break that no contact or reach out around the 6-month mark. And step number three is really his choice and decision. It's when he's dealt with the emotions, he dealt with the feelings, and then he's asked himself, do I want to reach out to her? Do I actually see a future with her? Or do I need to stand on business and move on? And worst case that they do is move on with another woman. Throughout this whole process, they may be avoiding those emotions and running to other women, going on dates with other women, hollering at other women. And it's not because it's something that's personal towards you or you don't deserve love or they want to make you miserable. It's they don't know how to deal with their own vulnerabilities. They don't know how to deal with what they're struggling with inside here. So this whole time after that breakup, hopefully after they process some emotions, they say, maybe I just need to heal, or maybe I do need to reach out. But what you need to do as a woman is no matter what, if it's a new man or your ex, it is a brand new relationship. So that means you got to stand on goddamn business. You got to ask yourself, what were the ratchet activities? What were the things that I looked past and I wasn't standing on business of? And how do we normalize the relationship that we should have always had by the hard conversations and communications if he does come back? And he should be having a level of self-awareness too. So you got to stand on business. You got to regulate yourself. And this whole time, don't be wondering about what the hell he's doing. I'm making this video for you so you could heal, so you could do the damn thing. Because what the hell's this healing process for? Getting back with his ass or for you to be your most abundant? And if you need help with that, and if you want to go through an 8-week experience to ignite the next stage of your life, reset that nervous system, and have fun while doing it, link in the bio of an 8-week program that breaks it all down. You could book a free call with me to learn more about it.
Your ex is watching every single thing that you do from a distance. He might not even be following you. He might even be blocked. But trust me, he is watching everything you do. And you might ask, why is he watching you? Or why do you see him watch your story or whatever it may be? The number one reason he's doing this, he's trying to see how you're doing after the breakup. He may be asking questions about you. He may be looking at your page, looking at your stories, whatever it may be. And it's not saying that this person wants to come back at this point in time, but they want to know that you're not doing well without them. They want to know if you're heartbroken. They want to know if you're down and out. And what this is making him feel like you needed him, not the other way around. He loves the fact that you're heartbroken and you want him back. And at this point, it makes them feel like they're the one in control and they're the catch. And one thing that stands true, no one will value you until you put yourself first and you walk away. Now at this time, he may be trying to come back to you, sweet talk you, say he really wants to be with you, knowing that you're broken without him, but essentially he's just going to do the same thing. If you're currently dealing with this toxic ex that keeps trying to come back after he's told you he doesn't want to be with you, but he loves the fact that you're sulking over him, but he wiggles his way back through every time, and you can't detach, go snag my new book where I help women detach from these types of guys and attract the guys they want to be with.
So here it goes. Heartbreak is a universally painful experience, and men are not immune to the effect. While societal expectations often portray men as less emotional and vulnerable, research and anecdotal evidence suggests men experience significant emotional distress after breakup, sometimes even more intensely than women. Clock that. This can manifest in various ways, including feelings of emptiness, loss of motivation, and a desire to withdraw from societal situations. Now, working in patients actually highlighted this because there are a good number of women, but there's a chunk of men, a young man, grown up men, who come in with thoughts of wanting to unalive themselves because of a heartbreak. And mind you, many of these men, especially men who have been married, during the whole process, maybe their partners might be urging them that this and that and the third need to be addressed, need to be looked at. Maybe they need to adjust something so the relationship is more equitable and fair. But a lot of time, most of these men will just ignore it, refuse to be accountable. Sometimes they become passive aggressive, sometimes even downright aggressive and threatening towards the woman. They might be dismissive, they might be distant, they might be using different manipulative tactics like like silent treatment, stonewalling you. They'll come home, kiki on the phone, chatting, laughing. But when you ask them a question, or you text them, or you call them, they're too busy. I'm busy, I don't have time, I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm in a meeting, I'm tired, things are not going well. So can we talk about it? So we can find a fair playground, so we can figure things out together. That's what partnership is, right? Many men don't want partnership. They want the labor that women bring to them, because once again it goes back to conditioning, the mindset, misogyny, patriarchy, all of that stuff. The fact that majority of men rather think of women as objects, as pieces of furniture in their home. They don't honor or respect women's views or ideologies within the relationship, especially after having kids. Something happens, I feel like a switch just happens after having kids. And sometimes at 5 or 7 years, those major milestones after the wedding, 5, 7, sometimes 10 or 14, 7, 5, 7, 10, 14. You need to pay attention to those numbers when you're in a long-term relationship or marriage. Something happens. Some men start to, cheat, or they switch up, or something psychologically happens once they hit mid-30s to 40s, and they switch up. They start to change on you. They start to be literally downright cruel to yourself, and even sometimes to children. They start to, a lot of time, emotionally manipulate you, abuse you, because they know physical violence can be shown and directly have an impact on their own lives. Spiritually abuse you, weaponize the Bible and quotations against you. They might call you out of your name, disrespect you, ignore you, dishonor you, disrespect you, be best friends with their their secretaries, or whatever that might look like. Like, the cruelty starts to happen insidiously, slowly, and that's what you need to clock. You need to pay attention to the fact that some of these men will go out of their way to try to destroy you. Meanwhile, many of them, they don't hold themselves accountable or want to do the work to maintain the relationship. A lot of time, the relationship becomes one-sided when you, the woman, is mostly doing the work to keep it going, or it almost feels like you're trying to pull them in, or it almost feels like you're nagging, and on the worst case can feel like you're begging for them to stay. And you see, a lot of times in 2020, 2024, 2025, you're just like, no, we're done. Because what's the point of being there and begging to be with you when you can go ahead and have the right set you free, and you can find a new way of doing your life. So a few of the things that can happen when, like, the initial shock, the void, you might see them, the shock of it, they might like trying to numb that pain by going to the club, going to party, you might see them going to the beach, on vacations, they're living it up. In those moments, you're the woman, you're crying your eyes out, you're bawling, you're depressed, you're going to therapy, you're healing, you're journaling, you're meditating, you're praying, you're going to church, you're asking God why, you're sliding down the wall, you're drooling, you're like, you know if you've experienced a heartbreak, especially as a woman, you're emotional, you're calling your homegirls, you're like, you're going out, you're talking. But you know what? After a few weeks, a few months, you get a grip because slowly you get to normalize your new experience and you start to heal, you start to level up. Many of us women will do the work, but a lot of men will just go straight to avoiding, numbing, replacing. And they might be wanting to replace the 20% that they feel like is lacking in the original partner with a new one. What they don't realize is that person will also come with a lacking of that 20%. And after a good while, they might not always divulge the truth, but they might realize that, ooh, she's this, she's that, she doesn't do this, doing that. Sometimes they might hide shit because they know they fumbled. And down the line, maybe in their late 50s or late 60s, 70s, now they're like on the podcast talking about that person, like, oh, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and this, that, and another. Suppress emotions, that was the next one. Deepening pain over time. So men experience that painfulness later. Distraction, avoidance, self-blame, insecurity, social isolation, withdrawal, reckless behavior, attempt to move on quickly, by the replacement. They might not, what can help them is open communication, making their needs known, support groups like therapy, self-care, healthy coping. But do a lot of men do self-care and coping? Maybe a pedicure, maybe something like that. But self-care, like consistently, even consistency in going to the gym, especially men in their mid-30s, 40s, they know. Many of them experience ED anyways, and they'll go and get all the alafia beaters. I'm not trying to hate on men, but this is what is common out there. This is what most men will be doing. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. What is the dark psychology that you have experienced, or seen, observed in men after a breakup, after a separation, after a divorce, even after they have lost their partners to be with the Lord? Do they quickly remarry? How quickly is it? Many of them, sometimes less than a year, they're already. Sometimes right after the funeral, they're already, because they have a couple side people waiting to sweep right in. Let me know your thoughts and please subscribe, follow, like. Love you. Bye.